Hey people, hope you're doing well. I'm Hannah. Thanks for being here. I have had some downloads, past, present, and future. So I'm going to talk about them. So I don't know if people know, but since 2022 I've had chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah, I have. And which feels like a past life that I didn't even live in this lifetime ago. I studied neuroscience. It's actually about 20 years ago. I'm that old. Yeah. And no one knew what it was. At that time, it wasn't popular. And there was only a handful of universities that did it, like offered it as a course in the UK as a whole, not even just in England, in the whole of the UK. So I didn't even really have a choice of unis. Well, I did, but there's only a handful. And yeah, no one really cared what it was. No one knew what it was. And now everyone's trying to make it out to be like it's AI. Everyone's trying to superimpose it with AI, which is just ridiculous. So I'm going to talk about so I made a video earlier about autism and ADHD and just how people have just gone crazy about what actually classifies as autism and ADHD these days. And I've talked a bit, I don't know how many times, but I have talked about it before. I remember making videos about it, and I remember there was a video, it was either last year or the year before, where I actually got upset in the video because of like personal experiences at the time of being treated differently, but people don't know. People treat you differently, but they don't obviously don't know, but they treat you differently because of trauma, but they don't know that it is that, but that's what it is. Confirmation. Anyway, get your drinks or whatever. I'm having caffeine too late in the day. And yeah, settle in for this one. I'll try to speak in layman's terms as much as possible. I didn't really want to get all my old books. Well, thankfully, I've got all my old books. Because one thing I have noticed is when you do a search and when you try and do research and you just do a normal search online now, the results that you get back, I just know that it's not real. But it looks real because it looks like it's like a real journal from a journal paper from a real university. But things are being doctored. There's like reduction of like what you're able to access or what they want people to know, which is it's a really big concern. So I don't know, this is a fucking full-time job, but I have got all my old books, which are probably more accurate than what you can find from going on Wikipedia these days, because I don't know what they're doing to things. Anyway, it's going to be what I know just from my general knowledge, from my personal experience, what I am sensing and intuiting that I can't find any research for, which I think there should be research on, just because there's enough connections there for it to be progressed. And I don't know if there is actually research in this area, and because I'm on the dog shit internet that Zios won't, the British government won't help me get off this fucking shitrally Zio internet that is just crap. It is literally crap. And I don't know what everyone's internet's like. And just because they want to push like AI slop out onto everybody, but I just know that AI slop is just slop. But I just feel sorry for the people that is the system that they think is right. Like, how are you going to know any different? Like, say if you're a teenager coming, just walking through life, and that is the system, you're just not going to know, are you? Because you're really trusting at that age. And anyway, whatever. That's not what the video is about. Anyway, going back to what I want to talk about. I want to talk about trauma, which is basically your body always constantly being in fight, flight, freeze, and fawn response. Where you have adrenaline always in your body, cortisol always in your body, and like vagus nerve inflammation. And for people that don't know, your vagus nerve is a very important nerve actually, and it's basically involved in every involuntary bodily function. So which is also called like the parasympathetic nerve activity. I don't know how else to say it. Parasympathetic nerve function. So that's all your involuntary things that your body does, like digestion, your heart rate, your immunity, breathing, all those things. So very important functions. And so when your vagus nerve is inflamed, it's very problematic. There's not, your body doesn't flow basically. Your body can't get into the flow state. And then in your confirmation, your body can't get into the flow state, okay? In your gut, there is a nervous system called the enteric nervous system. Which for some reason, yeah, this is one of the main things that when you do a Google search, the results just come out like friggin' junk. Google only wants to tell you that its primary function is digestion, which is a fucking load of horse shit. And this is what I want to get out of my old book, my 20-year-old books out, to look up what it says, what they all say. This is why you should get physical books, people, because I don't know what the fuck they're up to, these fucking Zion-Nazis. Ethno-supremacist, eugenics freaks, yeah, them. Don't know what they're up to. Well, you can kind of guess, but don't let them. Yeah, when you for some reason when do a search, all it wants to tell me is that it does, all it's for is digestion. No, that's very, very suspicious, because serotonin, the neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut, and serotonin plays a role, like a major role, in regulating sleep. It's for healing, digestion, and also, everybody knows, mood. So people most often hear it in association with depression. So obviously during trauma, your body produces more stress chemicals and less serotonin. And that's why you can, I don't know what research there is out there, but I think that should be studied more if it's not been studied. That is a key area of exploration for what might be, the underlying problems that cause autoimmune conditions. Because if you have an inflamed vagus nerve, like constantly inflamed vagus nerve, and no serotonin being produced for healing and regeneration, and your sleep's disturbed, and obviously, like when you're asleep and when you're in deep sleep, that's when you have that's your restorative time, isn't it? That's pivotal for healing and regeneration. So it's like a vicious cycle. But also, your body also has this gateway that I don't know if people know or might not know, or might just be a thing that's commonly more confirmation, more understood or known by people in the scientific community. We have a blood-brain barrier, which is basically like a gate. It's like a gateway, and it's supposed to like keep all the bad substances out and only allow, you know, good things through, like for example serotonin, the neurotransmitter, up to the brain. But I mentioned it in one of my recent videos. I can't remember if it was the last one where I was talking about, I was making fun of Muslims, or maybe the one about autism and ADHD, where I talk about people if you're always living in constant trauma, you basically live with brain damage. So people with CPTSD, complex PTSD, or continuous PTSD, basically you have brain damage until you can get out of whatever's away from the stimulus that's causing it. And then if you do that and you do get into more of a healing environment, it's in like a minimum of 2 years before the brain damage goes away. And I don't know, because the internet is really shit. Like I said, I'm just on some fucked up internet. And this is just my life and my understanding. If there's what research there is to look at the blood-brain barrier and why that brain damage might happen, because if the blood-brain barrier is not, either, for example, if it's not working properly, and a lot of these harmful chemicals are getting through the blood-brain barrier that shouldn't be, because the blood-brain barrier isn't working properly. I don't know what research there is on that, or if it's just because there's more stress chemicals that are produced by the body that just far outweigh any serotonin that's produced, because serotonin suppression is reduced. Serotonin production is suppressed. So yeah, so basically my internet is a heap of dog shit, and I can't really find anything on that. So like I said, I don't know. Maybe if someone sensible finds this video, if they don't have dog shit internet, maybe they can look and see if anyone's done any research on if during like living in constant trauma that affects actually like the quality of the blood-brain barrier, and like how it's able to act as this gatekeeper type, do its gatekeeper job properly. And and how, you know, what it is that, you know, helps it to regenerate, basically, so it's able to keep doing its job properly. And then I'm basically like, where this links to the confirmation, where this links to the other video that I made about how just the world's gone stupid with autism and ADHD, is that that you shouldn't really confuse people with trauma with having those conditions, because all of that bombarding people all the time with these constant stimulation everywhere, and even when it's these fucking stupid, what are they called, ASMR, that's not, for me, that's not ASMR, that's just annoyance. So I don't know what it is that people have got conditioned for that to be some sort of therapy for them. I don't get it. So anyway, all that constant stimulation stuff is conditioning, but it's actually conditioning people to everyone to be in constant trauma response, because it's just constant microaggressions all the time, which is basically bullying. And it's your body always being in just in constant trauma, constant inflammation, and all of that dampens your immune system. and they're making that like it's basically like just normal everyday life when it's really not. And then they're trying to like have all of that as like subliminal messages, so that is your, so you kind of like internalize that as your belief systems, when it's just not even a belief system. Like it's just shit, it's just slop. Yeah. So like, and then there's also like, even if you want nothing to do with that, it's just always in your face. So even if you want to get away from it, you literally can't get away from it, because that's what they're just allowing for everywhere to be. So you are going to be impacted for it. And then if you've not got like anything to kind of stabilize yourself, or like, you know, discharge that out of your system, it's just going to be, it's like basically it's going to make everyone chronically ill, and it's their way of like controlling the masses. So they just want to put everyone in trauma and make that just normalized, and make chronic illness like that, which just shouldn't even be there, as normal. And basically yeah, so they want to make that the collective consciousness. So collective consciousness should be at the level of God. So when I was talking in my previous video that I made when I was making fun of Muslims, but I was talking about language, and how in Arabic language we have several different ways to say soul. And there's some at the level of the body, some at the level of the mind, some at the level of soul, as in like the soul that we have as a person. But then there's like the oversoul, which is God, or the universal source, or whatever you want, or some higher consciousness than just our person consciousness. They want basically everyone to be stuck at a collective consciousness that is at the mind level, but it's not like even at a higher mind level, it's at reptilian mind level. So they want the whole of the collective consciousness, what they're basically building AI off, to be at like just fucking nasty level, like nasty mind level, not even elevated thought level, which is obviously like a higher mind, which is what everyone really should be, and what the internet used to be. I don't know what the fuck's going on, how this is even allowed, what drugs people are on, or why people are just so easily overtaken. I don't fucking know. But they've basically removed trust and removed consent. Okay, they removed consent. And where in the body, where your enteric nervous system is at the solar plexus level, which is where your psoas muscle is, the same level as your psoas muscle, which is the muscle in your body that is associated with your soul. Okay. So all of this stuff is like soul snatching stuff. It's affecting people's ability to heal, people's ability to regenerate, people's ability, like trust and consent are also associated with the solar plexus chakra. So they're trying to take away people's personal empowerment. And basically you can't, well, first of all, they're trying to take away people's ability to just they're trying to take ownership of other people's creative alignment. So they're trying to put themselves above God at that level. Does that make any sense? I hope it does. So if you think about it, they're trying to create another collective consciousness that is at the level of the mind, but not even at higher mind, not even at higher thought, at nastiness thought, yeah, reptilian level thought. And they're trying to put that, they're trying to jump the soul level, because they're trying to say they don't know what consciousness is, but it's really that they don't have a soul. That's what the problem is. That these tech bros, yeah, they don't have a soul. Psyos, they don't have a soul. But they're trying to put themselves at the level of God by creating a collective consciousness that's at the reptilian level, by basically trying to snatch people's souls and take control of people's personal empowerment. So, like, take away people's free will, because that's the free will is from the solar plexus. But really, when you manifest, it's alignment of all your chakras. And then having an open gateway, which, if you've not heard it, I've just posted an improvisation that I did with my guitar and a Sharpie pen. Which is called Star of the Soul, which is basically what was coming through was A sharp, which is basically the note for Star of the Soul, which is above your crown chakra. That's the conduit to the divine. Yeah. So when all of that's aligned and you're connected with God, yeah, that's how you manifest. And you have to have an open heart. You have to be in your solar plexus and trust. Yeah. They're trying to basically put everything out of alignment and put themselves. I don't know what they're trying to do, like why they think they can actually leapfrog like that, or why they can think they can just take that position, because it's just dog shit. But anyway, they want everyone's enteric nervous systems to be out of alignment, and for people just to think confirmation that all it does is digestion. No. And basically, when they do that, when they knock all of that out of alignment, they're keeping people in constant trauma, not able to heal, not able to regenerate, and keep people stuck in the past, which is trauma, and not able to manifest anything new. And that's basically, like, everything that's in AI is just old news. You don't manifest from old news. And they want everyone to think that that's the future. Yeah, and so basically they want to keep everyone's souls fragmented and not integrated and aligned. Yeah, I can't remember if I talked about trust and consent. Trust and consent, they come from the solar plexus, but also you have to have an aligned throat chakra to be able to communicate that effectively. And it involves like full alignment with God, which they're trying to emit God. They're trying to replace God. I mean, really good luck with that one. They're trying to replace God and universal alignment. They're trying to emit that from creation, from any creative processes, and place themselves as like of greater self-importance. Anyway, there's more to explore on this topic, and I don't know. I think one day a poem's going to come where I'll be able to. One day I'll download a poem that expresses this, but I haven't done that already. And at this moment in time, this was the best way that I found to communicate what I've gathered. This is kind of like several years, really, of gatherings. But really, if you think about it, it's not, because it started back when I was studying neuroscience. So that's like more than 20 years. But kids, let me tell you, neuroscience is not AI. And also let me tell you that I went to uni to study neuroscience because I was interested in what consciousness was. And these AI freaks are trying to tell you that they don't know what consciousness is, when it's all bullshit. Yeah, I figured it out that it wasn't neuroscience from being at uni. No, it was not. And that was kind of like, that was my first steps of exploring, like going on a spiritual journey. But I wasn't even aware that that's what it was at the time. So basically, like going beyond just my normal religious upbringing, which wasn't even my parents didn't even force us to read the Quran. Like that was my first steps of trying to understand, you know, of what was beyond this realm, what consciousness was like. And I knew that it wasn't neuroscience. I mean, it is at the level of the body and the mind. But we didn't cover the soul there. So I just knew that there was nothing, like I wasn't satisfied by what was, well, I wasn't satisfied generally by that course, because we didn't really do full neuroscience stuff until the last year. We had to do all the rest of the body first, which I suppose is safety first and everything, but it was boring. Like, it was boring. Yeah, it was boring. And it was basically the course. Yeah, I just found it like it didn't challenge, didn't really answer a lot of the things that I wanted from it, like from the beginning. So I was still left like not, well, still on a quest basically. But I knew after that time that your brain really doesn't have much to do with consciousness, and that it is your soul. And then after that, I was trying to understand like what a soul was, like what it was, and I think they just don't want people to know. They don't want people to know who they are. They don't want people to know what they are, that they are a soul, and that they have a body and they have a mind, and that you manifest from your soul and you need an open heart. But I don't want people to know that. But I've told you, so you can thank me when you figure it out, because even if I do tell you, it's not really going to make any sense, because it's an experiential knowing, and only the people who have got to that point in their lived experience, they will know what I'm talking about. But I think a lot of the people who found my channel, especially through the readings and stuff, like my readings collective, they were all hermits. So a lot of them were hermits. My collective was hermits. So I just know that yous will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know. The stalkers, I don't know. The geriatric people in the establishment, there's no hope for them. I don't really know what to say about them. Even the devil's sick of them. Like, I don't really want, I don't, like, this video was not supposed to go there, but I suppose it is, that all is related to AI and trying to control the masses and trying to bring down the collective consciousness to really satanic levels, really, to a satanic baseline. It's just really, really, really sickening. Anyway, that is the video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you want me to do another video with all my follow-up research by going back to my old books, which I think are going to be way more trustworthy than all the Zio-infiltrated internet. Let me see. Yeah, like, yeah, trust is from your gut. It's from your gut. And they're trying to mess with that. mess with people's self-trust. Because self-trust is like a major part of knowing yourself. So that's obviously knowing what you want to, what you would say yes to and what you would say no to, and like that's part of being able to have, you know, conscious decision making. Yallah, it's the end of the video. I will see you in the next one, whatever that may be. Check out my instrumental from earlier today. Bye.